Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I am live after all this time. We are finally in the new house, if anybody is wondering. Yes, we moved in. Well, I should say my mother moved in a week ago to get everything ready. I couldn't come because there wasn't enough room with all the stuff and the thing on the first trip. So I moved in on Saturday. Our stuff came in today. Hello, Shalene. How are you? Hello. Yes. We are now in the new house. Our stuff came today. The movers came today. Yeah, July 4th of all days, right? Happy 4th of July, everybody. I know a lot of you have been wondering where I was. A lot of things happened. I can't even. Yes, I'm in California. We're in the new house now. This is going to be my mother's room right now, but this is the room right now where I have room. There's boxes all over the house right now. So yeah, I have my own room, but right now the desk isn't set up. But the desk is set up here, so there is a desk right now in here. So yes, I have all the stuff came. So I've been moving clothes. Things have to still be unpacked. So we've been unpacking most of the day today. So a lot of you know that there were things going on. So the book that I brought with us is called Fairy Tales by Emily Lee Hall Oberg. If anybody's wondering what it is, yeah, I got my coloring books and there's so many of them, even though I gave away a lot of them. It is nice to be back. It's July 4th, but a lot of you know I was in the hospital for 10 days from the end of March to the beginning of April. I was really, really sick for 10 days. They don't keep you in the hospital for that long unless there's something seriously wrong with you. First, they thought it was a COVID infection, but believe me, there are other things. Needless to say, there were a lot of things going on those 10 days. Those 10 days were scary because I didn't know what was going on with me, but they finally diagnosed it. I had been sick for a while, Robin. A lot of people, I had been sick for a long time, Robin. I kept getting one illness after another, and nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. And then when I went to the hospital, I presented as a breathing problem, but I wasn't sleeping very well. But I think it was also because the stress of moving, everything else. But what happened was they did a lot of tests. I had breathing tests done, heart tests done, liver test, and I remember when they finally did the kidney biopsy. That is when they found out what was wrong with me. It turns out that I have lupus. So it makes sense now why I get sick a lot. I was getting so sick. But it also means now that my lifestyle, my diet has to change. I'm going to start looking for work again. I haven't been working, and then we stayed with my brother for this last mid-April to about a week ago. I was with my brother. Me and my mother were staying with my mother and brother. He has two children, my two nieces, Saya and Hazel. I tell you, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old take up a lot of energy. They are definitely high energy. So as you can see, some things have come in. I haven't unpacked everything. So I'm like really happy about that. As you can see, I have my floors, which work really well. I like doing certain things. But it was really, it's been an interesting time living with my brother and his wife. My brother's wife is so nice, but my brother's an actor, so it's like, his schedule is never regular, but he has been booking some projects now. So it's always so much fun when he books a project. Pale pink. Yes, pale pink. It's always fun when my brother books something, he was recently, you guys may not know this, my brother was in Star Wars. He played the uncle of Princess Leia in Obi-Wan, if anybody wants to know that. But the problem with him is that his schedule is never regular, so he's constantly on call, and so things change, you know. This is pale pink. These are the colors. Things came, I was unpacking, and then I'm like, it looks red. Everything has been kind of a crazy schedule. Moving is like one of the three biggest stresses in your life. Now I have to have a low sodium diet. I'm going to be cooking a lot more food now. Me and my mother are going to be doing a lot of things, but I have to get a new job, so that's going to be scary. I had enough money when I came out here to pay my bills, so for a few months, so that's was a good thing. But I want to start working again because money doesn't last forever. But that's the different thing altogether. I've been away for a while, so it's been kind of like everything weird. So if you guys want to see something from the outside, this is what it looks like from the outside. You guys get to see it. Let me show you how nice the flowers are there. If anybody wants to see the flowers. This is the room that doesn't have a bed yet, but my room does have the bed, so. Well, it does have the air mattress over there. We put it up so when the guys came today with the thing, we could put things away easily. So who likes that? Is that not pretty? Yes, I did lose a lot of weight. I'm now about 185 pounds. I was about 208 when I left New York. So yeah, my brother has a little French bulldog named Oz. Crazy little dog. I should say that dog is like. Over here, you have to do composting and recycling green bags and things like that. So it's been, yeah, I lost about a lot of weight. So I'm now back to a certain size pants, which is hilarious because my clothes are, yeah, I did lose weight, but I'm on like 10 different medications, Shalene, because of the lupus. So yeah, I haven't even had a new primary care, but I got to switch everything now because I was in downtown LA. Now I got to switch everything up to here where I'm in Anaheim. So it's different. Tomorrow I got to get my Laguna Woods ID. I've applied for a few accounting jobs here, so let's hope I get called back in for an interview. I'm hoping I can get an interview. There's still like 2 more boxes at my brother's house, so that's going to be fun. I feel like so these are my colors. Really for me, it's funny because when I was kind of unpacking things, it was kind of funny the yeah, I have my colors today, so more screen. I'm doing fairy tales. So I was kind of surprised. I found a lot of my Japanese books. So I was really happy about that. My brother has this French bulldog who's he was really funny. Me and the dog really spent a lot of time together. I walked it, I fed it. I really it made me realize how much I miss having a dog. His dog is a French bulldog. It's black and he has a little white chest. He named it Oz. But the dog is very athletic. He's very strong dog is the best way to describe the dog. So everything was like crazy the last few months, and then now because we're moving in, I figured I'd do one today or tomorrow. But everything is always like, what is going on? Like I was like, but basically, my mother had came a week before I did to the house because she had to set up all the stuff. So. And then my brother's schedule is not like a normal like how a normal person works 9 to 5. That's not the way my brother's schedule works. So, but this is the way it is when you live with someone else's house. But now that I'm living in the thing, we didn't bring a whole big truckload of furniture. We bought certain pieces of furniture with us, not everything. So some of the stuff is we bought the couch. The couch came today. My mother had bought two chairs from Living Spaces, so when she came, it would be delivered on the day she came, so she would have us sitting. Um, the kitchen table, we took the kitchen table that was left from the previous owner with the chairs. I love like her little glass armoire with her. What else did we have? My diamond case containers, which have my diamond, like the ottoman that stores my diamond paintings. So, we didn't bring a whole lot of furniture, Robin. So, I still have eight more boxes to unpack. Some of that is coloring books, um, comic books. My brother is going to probably look through it next time he's here, see what he wants, doesn't want. So, and there's still tons to go through. So think about that. There's a lot of things to go through in the boxes still. I still am looking for my markers, my Copic markers, which is I think the only markers I took with me, which is fine. You guys know that I had a lot more art supplies. So, yeah, probably because of the empty room, but I'm in a house. It's a small house. It's like a little cottage house. So it's smaller in some ways than the apartment in New York, but much bigger storage space capacity. Robin, let's put it this way. I enjoy being with them, but at times they could be very nasty to me. Um, the 2 year old. What can I say about the 2 year old? She would say things to me like, not your house. Go away. Get back on the airplane. She actually said this to me. Not your house. I don't like you. I only like. She actually said this to me. This is what the Messiah said, the 2 year old that you saw the picture of. You saw a picture. Yes, the 2 year old Saya. My nieces are named Hazel Aria, which is the 4 year old. Saya, which is the 2 year old. You guys saw a picture. If you're on Facebook, you saw a picture of me and Saya Ray on Facebook or Instagram. Now, this 2 year old, the one that you saw the picture, because she's two, she's going through that, what do you call it, the Jekyll and Hyde. One moment she'll be really sweet to you, and the next moment she'll be like, bloody murder. No, everybody. It she'll be like bloody murder to you. The 2 year old, she's like, hi, Keely. Wow, now we got eight people. So the 2 year old sometimes is like the sweetest little thing, but then she'll be like, get away from me. She'll scream, I don't like you. I hate you. I hate you. You just stink. You got dirty mouth. I don't like you. But one time she says, I only like, she actually said this to me out loud, and it was kind of like, I was kind of taken back because I don't know what I did to get this child so upset, but she's two. So you give it to like the moods. They don't know how to govern their moods. So what she said to me was, I don't like you. I only like mommy, daddy, Hazel, and Oz. You're not my best friend. You go back on airplane. You go back on plane. If she was too, if it was anybody else who had said that to me, that could have been considered racist. So it was like, what do you say to a 2 year old who said, get back on the airplane? So I haven't found my whole buns yet. So These are my colors. They're just as good as other pencils. Yeah, that's a problem. And she's walking and she speaks very well. But the 4-year-old is just so precious. That's right. That's the toddler for you. Tomorrow I got to do some work, and then tomorrow I got to call up my insurance company and switch over to here. I got to get a job. There's a whole bunch of things that have to happen. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight. So, everything is like, oh, I love it in California. It's beautiful. It's warm, but I don't like that sometimes it's so hot that you want to drop. Like here, everything is different. The recycling is so much different in California than it is in other places. I'll tell you one thing, I don't miss the cold weather. I'd rather have this weather in California than there. And I'm in like Orange County, which is Anaheim. I found out that's where we are really. I like it, but I have to go to the office tomorrow. This office is closed today. What I have to do tomorrow is get an ID card for the community because I'm in Laguna Woods. So this is an older community, but you need an ID here, so you can get things in there. I have to figure out the public transportation so I can get to and go from work. So once I figure that out, I have to do a lot of logistic stuff. Tomorrow I have to call up my insurance company. So there's a lot to do here. Mhm. These are my colors. I'm so happy that the stuff came today. Otherwise, we'd not be doing this stream today. Wow, 6 people today. I know. I wasn't expected to come back. I should have announced that I would have come back, but I never know when I'm coming because, when I get the new work schedule, I don't know if they're going to hire me. I've been applying on Indeed.com because I really don't know anybody out here. So it's like you got to be, somebody will go through the internet, and right now I'm going through the internet to get the job. So try and get a job. Light coral. Looks like a skin tone to me. These are the colors if anybody's asking what they are. But, I don't remember what set this is. It's not the 240 set. I think it's like the 180 set. Yeah, I think it's the other set I bought. Really, it's drier in Rhode Island. Oh, I mean in Indiana. But do you like the weather better in Indiana? Because I tell you, it's beautiful here. But it's like, I think I like the climate better. Everything is weird because, everything kind of got sidetracked a little bit. I was talking earlier about, health and other things. Here it's so hot that I'm gonna have to start carrying a water bottle when I go out because the weather is like this weather will kill you if you don't stay hydrated and lotion up your skin. It's been like a weird transition, everything that happened. Yes, happy 4th of July. Yay. I told you guys I'd be coming back I just didn't know when I'd be coming back. I'm doing mushrooms. I just grabbed the book and hopefully was like, oh, let it be a good one that I grab. I found my Japanese books. I found this book. I found that book. So you guys know that my Kirby book is back in New York somehow. I couldn't take my book bag with me last time I was there. Mom's doing well. Mom is really enjoying the house. She's liking the house a lot. I think for her, the house is different. She's liking the house. I like the house too. You know, in some ways it's small, in some ways it's bigger. You know, I just like that there's a lot more closet space. This is metallic orange. I have some pencils over here, but you know, this desk will eventually be moved into the other room and I'll figure out how to stream with it. You know, we don't know how long we're streaming today because I know for some of you, like I'm in California, so if you're on the East Coast, it's 3 hours. So my time is 5:49. For some people on the East Coast, it'll be 8:49. So there's going to be always now a 3 hour difference for those on the East Coast. You know, and there were 2 TVs left. The last owner of the house did 2 TVs, and they're very good TVs actually. Oh no, I'm sure Danielle will be upset. Light brown, brownish red. So we're doing fairy tales. It's like, what can I give you guys that you'd like? I found my Russian coloring books. I was so happy to find those. Found my Japanese ones. You know, once again, like once we find the hangers, then I can have more shelf room for certain things. So then I can put more stuff away. So I'm really happy about that. I think I found my hardcover coloring books too. So I was kind of happy. You know, it was just whatever was, you know, on top. And then we had all this stuff, you know, we have to put away the dishes, all this other stuff. But so hot, you know, I try to stay up with everybody's colorings and things like that, even though I wasn't, you know, coloring. I was looking at people's finished pages throughout the month, and I did make playlists for them. If anybody's wondering. Yeah, we're still unpacking. I'm like, it's just, it was insane how many clothes I have. And then I have winter clothes, but you know, I don't think I'll be needing them until like November or December out here in California. You have to remember, I'm from the East Coast, so I'm used to everything being very cold and things like that. No, I definitely, it's been like a crazy month for me, but you guys want to see like something here. I haven't been thin in a really long time. Like here, if you guys remember, this is me in chunky mode. You can see that I am extras, but look at that, right? So when you look down, you see how thin I am. I was never this thin. Keep that in mind. I've never been that thin. Not for a very long time. Not since I was a teenager. I haven't been this thin for a really long time. So keep that in mind. I feel like I always have to have something cold to drink because it's so hot here. I feel a lot better being thinner, but I know that's going to be a process. Mhm. What is that? Everything is a process for me going forward. Pencils like these, I have no idea what anything is. Oh, I know what these are. I know what these are. My favorite. My second favorite. Orange. These are the Christmas. Because I couldn't never abandon them. My Christmas was my first pencils ever. The first pencils I really liked as an artist pencil. No, I picked this book because it's just something fun, easy. You can give it a a bunch of nice summer colors. I don't have to worry about doing faces or smudges, and I don't have my markers. I, I kind of have a feeling I know where my markers are, but I don't really, and I don't have my printer out here yet. I think that was left in my brother's house because I didn't see it, so that's probably one of the two boxes that was left besides the Christmas decorations, but that's okay. I'm not totally back yet, Michelle, because I need a job, but that comes later. I know this is the first stream in a long time that we've done. A lot of people know that my whole attitude has changed. My diet changed too, Michelle. It wasn't like, oh, I just left because I had to leave. After the hospital, it was just kind of like you get shell shocked. Your body doesn't, and then you find out you have an autoimmune disease, and it totally changes the way you eat, the way you live. Exercise is important, but that 10 days was probably the scariest, Michelle. Yeah, let's hope eventually I can get into remission, but don't get into remission. Even when you're in remission, you still have to do things. Mm-hmm. These are the Christmas. I'm looking for my whole lines. I'm sure they'll show up eventually. You see how nice everything is when you combine it. I know it's been like crazy things going on, but I wasn't planning on coming on, but I'm like, see time where I can come on. Crimson Lake. This is Crimson Lake. No, I was trying to find a Mandela book and I didn't see any of my Mandelas. So I was like, okay, what's a book I can use? So, and then I managed somehow last night to connect my Netflix account to the new TV, which makes me happy. So we get the orange done. Yeah. My mother says I have very pretty cases for my coloring pencils. Well, it's just a temporary setup. The new setup will be different. You know, it's a new setup too. So keep that in mind. I'm trying to find the blue that I like. Like the blues in Prisma is always really nice. That's what I like. Hi, Emily. Just looking for my blues. Ultramarine. I don't like that blue. I don't like the blue. I know where I can get a lot of blue. Oh no. That's the worst thing. Dogs don't like firecrackers. Did I tell you my brother has this bulldog? His name is Oz. He's a French bulldog. He's black and he has a little white chest. But I tell you, this dog, he pulls so hard when you're walking. It's like, ah. Looking for blue. I always like blues, but they're kind of hard if you don't know exactly the shade of blue you're looking for. Cerulean blue. You know, my brother's dog is very funny. He pulls on the leash, but so what's funny is me and my brother's dog would go walking every day. I would take the dog for a walk at least once or twice a day. Also because now I gotta make sure I walk. Um, my thing is I have to walk to keep circulation in my feet, and that's part of my autoimmune disease. So I've got to be very careful that I don't make them that they don't get too fat, because if they get too fat, I could have another pulmonary embolism. So that's a very serious thing that happens. Hello, Kim. I had fur babies for years, and none of my fur babies ever liked my firecrackers. They have to go into the bathroom. Yes. hmm So everything is like been kind of crazy. When I was, I know, Pamela, it's been a crazy few months for me. I will say that. Polychromos, everybody. This is a. What is this? Pink Meadow Lake. I know it's been I'll tell you, Pamela, it's been a crazy few months for me. With moving, selling the house, then ended up having the hospital stay for 10 days. Did not think I was going to survive that. I had everything was wrong with me. And just like my body's always shut down. And this is one of the reasons what happened to me. And the other thing was my sodium levels were so high, which means the salt in your body, and you swell up. And that was why I was having problems breathing, because I had so much salt that my body could not handle it. And then I had breathing problems. So I was like, I've lost 20 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight. I've been eating better. I'm trying to eat better at least. So you see how nice this is. So yeah, there's actually a picture of me and one of my nieces on the computer. And that's Saya, that's the 2-year-old. If anybody's wondering, don't really have that many pictures of my niece Hazel, but I hope to get more. So, everything comes down to it. I put out my resume too, so I can get another accounting job. I'm also possibly getting certified to, thinking about taking some CPE classes so I can become a licensed CPA. And then once I do that, I can make a lot more money. So I was able to get the Netflix account. So you can see I've done this with Kaluas, Prismas, and Polys. I just started unpacking some stuff. I didn't even look at what was what. I was like, here's my delis, here's my delis, here's my solos. I'm like, okay, what is what? I have some artist loft pencils, but I don't know if I have all of them because I was using them when I was coloring with my nieces. Yeah, I did some coloring here and there with my nieces. So I've been watching a lot of Netflix and cooking shows. I seem to have developed a fondness for cooking shows. I don't think I'll go surfing. I'm not a great swimmer, so that's one thing I'm not a great swimmer at. Mhm. Mhm. And then the purple, Magnese violet. It's been a weird thing for me, Pamela. It's not like it's been a weird few months. I got diagnosed when I was in the hospital with lupus, which is an autoimmune disease. So, like, a lot of people think it's so easy after you get a diagnosis, but at least now, because I had been sick for a while, I kept getting sick and nobody could tell me what was wrong with me. The problem with a lot of what they say, what's the problem with autoimmune is that it masks itself as everything but what it is. It doesn't want to let you know. And what an autoimmune disease is, basically it's the body attacking itself. And nobody knows what causes autoimmune. I'm like, when I was living with my brother, I'm like going to the doctors, the new doctors out here. One of the things I did before I moved out here was I bought new insurance out there so I could have good medical care and continue. Um, it's not fun to have things going on in your body. So, I missed the signs, and one of the signs of lupus is, or an autoimmune disease, is when you start losing the hair. And I totally missed, you know, um, I didn't want to stream at my brother's house because then he would be like, oh, you're not watching the kids, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. You know, I still have like 8 boxes to go through, plus, you know, I really want to find my markers. Once I get my printer, everything will be much better. Really, I didn't know that you had that, Shalene. I was only diagnosed this year with it, so I'm like, to me, that's just incredible. I didn't know I had it. I was not eating healthy, which made it a lot worse. There's certain things I can't eat. When I go to the store, I'm like now always looking at my sodium content. Oh, how much sodium does this have? How much sodium does this have? Can you have this? Can you have that? You know, eating out is also a problem because you're like, well, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, you got the know-it-alls who think they know your symptoms and they really don't. They're like, oh no, you do this, you do this. Deep breath. Once you get diagnosed with something, you're like, what the hell is this diagnosis? What does this diagnosis mean for me? That's what I felt like the first 3 days when I was in the hospital. I felt like I really was going to die the first 3 days I was in the hospital. That's how bad I was. When I came into the emergency room, because I said I had a breathing problem, they immediately thought, COVID. But then I had other problems. and I didn't go to my normal hospital. You know, when I went into Lenox Hill, which is not my normal hospital. Normally, I go to the one downtown by my house, but every time I go there, they don't really investigate it. They just go, oh, they just patch me up and give me some medicine and say, go back. So I was like, you know what, if they're not going to do what they should be doing, let's go to another hospital, you know. And since I was on, where was I? I was on Lexington in the 20s doing an errand at the time. I said to myself, well, if they're not going to fix me, that's downtown, but I went to Lenox Hill, which is a better hospital for diagnostics. They are really good. I know them by reputation only. I was never in that hospital, but I went to them instead because I figured, you know what? If, you know, but because of having breathing problems, they thought it was COVID, but I also had a high EKG. So, but when I went in and they asked me questions, I could not really speak very well. My speech was a little slurred. And so they were asking me all kinds of things. Oh, did you get your flu shot? Do you have your COVID card on you? I go, yes, I'm vaccinated. They go, good. I really thought at first it was COVID because the way my exam was going was weak. Because when you have breathing problems, they immediately think COVID. So, like that page, I like the way this is coming out because it's different. Everybody thinks blah blah blah. My mother made a moment thought if I had had this during the pandemic, if this had happened during the pandemic, my mother said to me, oh, you would have probably not gotten the treatment. You probably would have died because of not lack of treatment. COVID has changed a lot of the things that they do, the way they treat people. That's not to say it's wrong. It's just the way everything is. I don't think Pamela and Michelle got to see that what the outside of the house looks like. So, I've never been skinny. Well, I haven't been skinny in a long time like this. So, for me, that's a big thing. So, I like the colors because there's a lot of colors in them and it's a budget set and it's like you can do some beautiful work with the budget sets. The expensive pencils are good too. Just a light jade green. Look at that. That looks really nice. Hopefully we'll be able to finish a picture today. If we don't finish it, we don't finish it. I'm not going to be like, I gotta do this, I gotta finish this, I gotta finish that. I don't think I want to do that anymore. Like rush to finish every picture anymore. Once I get, and also I may be taking classes, I may be working again. I don't know if I'm gonna work full time or part time. I'm gonna try and get full time work because, that pays more. You don't have to do 100 pages a month. Sometimes it's going to be more about quality than quantity. You know, Things, my life really changed. I'm in a new place. So it's been crazy. You know, one thing that I'm going to miss eating and I can't have them anymore is French fries. I can have fish, I can have steak, but if you go out to a restaurant, I have to tell the guy, please don't put salt on it. Like if you go to like Dave and Buster's or like a lot of these places like Bubble Gums, they have like so much sodium on them. It's like it's insane. Like what makes these things so salty? So you got to tell the waiter what not to put on. I feel bad for the waiters because I got to be a little pain in the ass sometimes on my food. Preferences. I don't really want to be a pain in the ass when I go out. I feel bad for people who say to me, well, you're just overreacting. When people say that to me, I'm like, it just boggles my mind when I'm saying that to them. Here is salmon orange. And I'm not being a pain in the ass, I'm just being mindful of my health. But this community, they say for the senior community, for this community, that there's a service that will take you to your doctor's appointments. So hopefully that doesn't become an issue for me. Look at that salmon orange. Isn't that a pretty color? I've been trying to keep up with everybody's videos, so sometimes it's hard to keep up with all the videos that everybody does. And there've been some beautiful pictures for June. You're still unpacking? Wow. If you guys are wondering what that was water. I'm finding that I'm drinking a lot more water than I was before. This is salmon orange. If anybody's wondering what pencils these are the Cororas. I think this is the 180 set. I don't even have time to buy a lot of the new sets, guys, so I have now changed my address on my Amazon account now. So there is a wish list up there. So my wish list is up there. So, but guys, right now, I don't really need anything. I'm like pretty good with my supplies and things like that. Basically, like I'm trying to do colors that are just different. I thought that this book would be a fun book because it's not a book that I see. Like I've been seeing who's been doing this book lately. I saw someone was doing this book and I really liked it. Someone was doing this book recently on stream. I really liked what they had done with the book. This color, that's too much like that color. It used to be different than that color. I wish I had my, what do you call them? I wish I had my other colors with me. Maybe a yellow. for the color. There's not a lot of yellows in this, that's the problem. Yellow's good, yellow. Fairy tales. Kim, that's what we're doing, fairy tales. Yellow. Dark chrome yellow. This is a fun book. I think a lot of people think, oh, I missed a lot of the coloring year because, it was moving and everything. So I didn't participate in top 10 books I want to finish. I didn't participate in this challenge or I didn't participate in that challenge. Plus I got 2 new diamond paintings from that big sale. Yes, I got the dragon. I don't even know what I'm going to do with my diamond painting stuff. So let's just put that in perspective too, Kim. One of my crates has my diamond painting stuff in it. I'll probably be unpacking tomorrow, but I gotta get my IDs. I gotta call up my insurance company tomorrow. And if I get a call from some of these places, there's another place that I applied. It's called Lake Forest, and it's one exit on the highway. It's one exit from Laguna Woods. I think you were coloring in a lot. This book. I feel sad because she doesn't have many books in there. I wanted to come up with a third book. We have the Saga Old Saga and this one. I think this book gets overlooked because everybody wants the Saga book. Yeah. The pills make everything really, when you're taking 9 medicines, Kim, it totally changes the complexion. 9 medicines, one and one by. Yeah, but I don't have a CPA thingy, so I'm actually technically a bookkeeper, not a CPA. I do like it. It's a good job. It's a solid job. I kind of fell into that job. I was like a baby when I did that. So, the thing is, I'll make a lot more money if I have the CPA. Over here, it's called CPA, but if I get to go to school for that too, I can make a lot more money. And maybe one day work from home. See, I like bright colors to make everything nice. I'm dealing with it. Deep red. No, I don't want deep red. Switch color. Well, over here in California, it's a $20,000 difference if you're a CPA as opposed to a bookkeeper. So it's a big difference in pay. As you get older, you realize how much you need that security. Well, for some people, that's not an issue. I'm getting older. My health has taken a toll, not necessarily for the better, but not necessarily for the worse, but You start realizing you need different things as you get older. You know, it's been, I think it's been more crazy for me than anything else. So I almost took out Ivy and the Inky Butterfly today, but I'm like, that one I'm doing in order. So I'm trying to do that book in order. It's not as easy as people think it is to do in order. There's some books that I just love to do. This happens to be, I think maybe I could finish this book if I give myself the dedication, but I don't want to sign up for a whole bunch of challenges. No, here in California, everything is about appearance. I realize I'm going to have to get some more stuff. Here's the green. What is this? Dark phthalo green. With me, view, it was very diff. I will say this about it. For me, it's been a crazy journey. I can't say it's been the most memorable journey. It's like almost like they don't want you to find out what's wrong with you sometimes. Sometimes I think it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, it's all in your head. I hate when they say, oh, it's all in your head, when you know it's not in your head. But sometimes, what happens is it's so frustrating because you don't know what's going on. And then they go, oh, I don't like this, I'm going to take this, but that's not what's happening. And you're trying to tell them, listen, this is what's happening, not that. Why are you focusing on a minor thing rather than a sometimes I think, sometimes I think I wasn't forceful enough, or I didn't say what was going on with me. And that drove me insane because it's like, how do you know what's wrong with me? You're not even asking to take a blood test. You're not even doing this. You're not even investigating my symptom. Why are you ignoring what I'm telling you? This is what got me frustrated with the doctor. But when I finally was really sick and almost, I tell you, when I went into the hospital, I was so bloated. It wasn't even funny. And they really had to drain my body of water. They use this thing called LASIK, and it's like a water thing. It all comes out of your water. Never before have I ever done that. As you can see, we're going to finish this picture on stream, which makes me very happy. I can imagine not knowing what would drive me nuts. Everybody thinks not knowing is worse than anything else. For me, the schedule, I figure once I get a job, we'll figure out if it's part-time or full-time. And then if it's part-time, then we'll just do what we do. But if it's full-time, I'm not going to do as many streams as I used to do. But, you figure out how to do things, you figure out what you want to do. What I like about this is that I only took a few things. I only took 3 pencil sets with me, and I still managed to do this with colors, Prismas, and polys. So that proves you don't need a lot. You get this done in. You see, I really like these books. This book, because it's got a lot of different florals, mushrooms, berries, fantasy characters. If you want to do it, I love doing this book, but this book is kind of like, I have a lot of uncompleted pictures in this book, so I got to figure out how to do them. Yeah, very soon I'm probably going to, no, I had a very late lunch today because it's 4th of July, so it's hard to figure out where everything is going to go. Mhm. So, my mom was saying to me, well, I know, I can't have this, I can't have this. And people think, oh, I'm just being a pain in the ass. But there's certain foods that you can't have that I can't have now. Do I miss it? Yeah, I'll miss it. Of course I'll miss it. Who wouldn't miss certain food? The propaganda books are nice too. So when you do this, it's like, what's this one? Purple dark. Should we do purple? I think I should make the berries. Make the berries the color you want to make them. You can tell that I enjoyed this coloring this today with you guys. Plus, I really wanted to come on for like a long time. Electric blue. I want red instead. I want red berries. I want red berries. I don't know why I want red berries. I'm happy I came back because it's just, there are times when I will be on and then there are times when I will not be on. Crimson red. The thing that is going to probably help me land another job is my experience, I'll tell you, you've met some people, when you are an accountant, you've met some interesting people. That's not to say that they're bad, it's just that they're interesting personalities. Now, I've watched a lot of things, The Boys, which I liked this season, but I could have done without Hero Gasm. I liked the episode overall, I just could have done without the gasm part, the party aspect of it. So that is what we have colored today. Isn't that pretty? I like that one. Too bad I don't have any of those stickies to remember it. You can tell I've done some work in this book. So you can tell that I've done some work in this book. So yeah, this book is, it's kind of like a weird book for me because I keep doing it piecemeal. And I never do it in the same order. So yeah, I know, right? I never finish a page. Sometimes I do, I'm sure, but it's not like it's a Kirby picture. When you do Kirby, it's different. So that is what we've done for today. I was hoping to find my whole binds. I probably have my whole binds. I just don't know where they are because there's so many pages. So yeah, when I get my printer. Yeah, when I get my printer finally, I can finally print out some of those pages that I downloaded from Etsy. I bought a few pictures online on Etsy, so that I really like them. So and they're from different artists, but there's an artist called Lulu Art, and she does some amazing girls. Her art is really outstanding, guys. So if you guys go to Lulu Art on Etsy, she's outstanding. She has some outstanding pictures. There's also this guy called Color It In. Um, he points me out to all kinds of artists on Facebook. There's a guy called Color It In, and he points me to a whole bunch of artists that I would not normally go to on Etsy. And so I've been finding a lot of some new independent artists. And yes, guys, I am waiting for some Color in Heaven magazines to come. So, but I ordered some. Yeah, I ordered some. Okay, guys, so I'm going to head on out. And I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I'm so glad I went live today. So I'm going to end the stream, and I hope you all had a good evening. And I know this will end up on the main thing. So for those who are watching back, thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you all have a happy 4th of July and good night.